What's up again, everybody? This is Jose Gagnon, the super random guy, here again today, and we are now doing episode 14 of season 6. This one's called Middle Engine. So I hope you all enjoy it very much. We're going to get rolling into it right away. You already know that things go here. Hope you're all going to enjoy this episode a lot. And we're going to keep it rolling. Have the great, amazing times, everybody. So let's keep it going right now. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Woo! Yeah, man! You know how it goes here, everybody. Every single night and day here on my YouTube channel. Yeah. Woo!
The Fat Controller's engines love their work. Gordon likes pulling the express. Thomas likes his branch line. And Percy likes taking the mail. But none of them likes being a middle engine. It's no fun being stuck in the middle. One morning, Percy was cheerfully collecting coal trucks from the smelter yard where Harry and Bert worked. They like to play tricks on steam engines. Percy.
And now we're going to be seeing Harry and Bert here again in this episode. Last time we saw them was in season 5, where they were trying to scrap Stepney, because since he ended up getting lost, trying to get back to the Bluebell Railway, and he ended up being at the scrap yards. And since Harry and Bert worked there, they ended up, they wanted to get rid of him because they hate, steam engines just like diesel. But in this episode, instead of trying, to scrap the steam engines, which is, their usual trait, their biggest trait about them, in this episode, they're just, being jerks and, just as you're about to see, they're going to be bringing some trucks to put right in front of Percy. So he's going to have trucks in front of him and trucks in back of him. So he'll be in the middle. And that's why, it's called Middle Engine. So we're going to see what's going to be going on here.
He didn't want to fall for their tricks again. But before he knew it, he was stuck in the middle. Oh, bother, chuffed Percy crossly. Little green piggy in the middle, Harry teased. Percy's driver was cross. With trucks in front of him and trucks behind, Percy had to go slowly. James was in the yard when Percy steamed slowly by. It's slow coach.
And I can understand why, because a lot of people have been talking about, why they ended up, changing their personality, from last season, just them being super menacing. And now they're just just being just crazy messed up diesel trains that just want to, just cause problems for no reason instead of, just being menacing from, last season. I can understand, why a lot of people didn't really like, how they changed their personality, all the way from last season to this season. But I don't know. They just like mixing up the characters' personalities sometimes, as we're about to see later on with, a really unique character, Scar Lowy. They're going to be changing his personality a lot, like when we get to the episodes that have him in it later on in this season.
Percy, James laughed. You wouldn't be laughing if you were stuck in the middle, Percy fumed. And he fumed all the way to the coaling plant. One by one, he shunted his trucks onto the tipper's loading ramp. The coal was unloaded. Percy was not allowed to cross the loading ramp until the tipper had been turned off. It was against the rules. But as soon as his driver and fireman left, there was trouble.
Of course.
Henry arrived to pick up coal. He bumped into the trucks, and the trucks bumped into Percy. Percy was pushed onto the loading ramp.
I'm surprised they didn't have, Henry's driver and fireman, check behind them to make sure there was nobody in the way before, going to collect the trucks. I mean, they should always, just make sure, to, look, check out their surroundings before they, go to, before they go to, like, start collecting things. Because, now, he just went to go collect the trucks without, having his driver and fireman look around for him. And now he basically, by bumping into the trucks, he made it so that the trucks, pushed Percy onto the tipper's loading ramp. And he wasn't supposed to be on there, until it was turned off. And, yeah, like I said, the workers, sometimes they just don't really pay a lot of attention, and they don't really have a lot of common sense when they're doing their jobs here on Sir Topham Hatt's Railway for some crazy reason. They just don't know how to, do common sense stuff a lot of the time. But, that's how it is, I guess, in this world with all these crazy talking trains and stuff, is that, some of the workers just choose not to pay attention and just choose not to use their common sense a lot.
"Help!" cried Percy. "I'm not a truck!" But no one heard him. Percy was hoisted up. Tipped over and brought back down again. After Percy was lowered back onto the ground, the manager was very cross. "You have caused confusion and delay," he said. "I'll have to report this to the Fat Controller." That night, the Fat Controller spoke severely to Percy. "I'm very disappointed in you, Percy," he said. "You know it's against the rules to go on the tipper's loading ramp." "Sorry, sir," Percy said sadly, "but it wasn't my fault. It's because those diesels made me a middle engine." "Nevertheless, you will shunt trucks in the yard until I can get to the bottom of this." "Pa," said James, thinking no one could hear, "I could handle those diesels with bent buffers and a busted boiler." "Then you will do Percy's run to the smelter." "Yes, sir," said James. The next day, James arrived at the smelter. He was determined not to be tricked by Harry and Bert. "Hello, James," oozed Harry. "Can't I learn a thing or two from those who know?" "Just get my trucks ready and stay out of my way," puffed James importantly. "Yes, sir," Bert chimed greasily. James cheerfully backed up to his trucks. He was certain he had fooled Harry and Bert, but he was wrong. "Little red piggy in the middle," chortled Harry. "Just like Percy," jeered Bert. "I am not like Percy," puffed James. "I am not a middle engine, and I'm not moving." And he didn't. When the Fat Controller heard the news, he sent Percy to fetch James. This made Percy happy. He buffered up to James and took him along with all the trucks to the docks.
I guess James didn't realize that, the same thing that they did to Percy, at the beginning of the episode was going to be happening to him. That's what happens when, you're full of confidence and you think that nothing's going to go wrong. And then, all of a sudden you get super surprised and something bad happens to you. So that's why you got to be careful when you try to be confident, because you never know what could happen to you in life. Life is always full of surprises. It's always going to be, no matter what goes on.
"Right on time," said the manager. "But what is that big red engine doing in the middle?" "Learning," Percy replied. "Learning what?" "Learning to be a middle engine." James covered himself in steam, hoping no one would recognize him, but it was no good. There is only one big red engine on the island, and everyone knows his name is James.
So that was episode 14 of season 6. So now we got just 12 more episodes left to cover. And then we'll finally be done with season 6. Hope you're all enjoying, the series so far with season 6. And then we'll just have one last season to cover, which is season 7, and then I'll be all done with this series. But hopefully, you'll be enjoying this series all the way to the very end. So now next time we'll be doing episodes 15 and 16 for next week. Hopefully you're all going to be looking forward to those episodes. Get the greatness, have the amazing happy times, and we will see you all here on my channel again, everybody. Hopefully you're all enjoying, this series very much, like I said again. And we'll keep it rolling every single day and night, every single day of the week here. So we'll see you next time, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Have the amazing happy times every single chance you can get. See you, everybody. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, man! You know how it goes here on this channel, everybody. Yeah. Woo!